There used to be a thing where you'd either have a phone with high-end specs or a phone with very basic specs that did not come with a lot of bells and whistles. At some point we started getting devices that fell somewhere in between the high-end and basic specification line. Enter the S22 Plus, the device that doesn't necessarily scream basic but reaches closer to high-end. Why do I say this? Well, let's go ahead and take a look. The starting price for this device is $999. It comes in 8 different color options, and you have the option of 128 gigabytes of storage or 256 gigabytes of storage. If you were to look at this device from far away, you'd most likely think that it was an S22, since they both literally share the same design elements, like the same shape, materials, and the same camera bump. The biggest difference between both devices is the width, height, and display size. There is a sort of balance between all 3 aspects, but using this device one-handed may or may not be a challenge for someone. Of course, there are software tricks that you can employ to get around this, but you'd have to make the decision on whether it's worth it or not. The same issue its smaller sibling, the S22, has are also persistent here. The device still has the same sharp edges if holding the device with a certain amount of force, and that camera bump still makes it so that you won't be putting this phone flat on a table anytime soon. The refresh rate and resolution are the exact same as they are on the S22. However, there is a difference when it comes to the width and screen size, like I mentioned before. The 6.6-inch display will give you more surface area to view and manipulate content, which is always a plus, pun intended. Another plus, also pun intended, here is the fact that the S22 Plus has a max brightness value of 1750 nits, which should be more than enough for what you intend to see in all different kinds of light. When it comes to 5G, you have the same specs as the other 2 devices in the S22 series. This means that you'll benefit from having the fastest 5G speeds available when in an area that allows for this. The cameras are the same as what's on the S22, which means you're getting a 50 megapixel camera with up to 3 times zoom and up to 30 times digital zoom. Like I mentioned before, camera quality is subject to being favorable by the person taking the picture, but I'm pretty sure that the camera on the S22 Plus will be good enough for more than enough people out there, and there's still a decent amount of length to zoom if necessary. The battery in this phone is pretty big considering all of the other parts in this phone. The 4500 milliamp cell in here should last you a whole day's worth, since there is no potentially battery hungry 4K display to power. Another benefit when it comes to the battery is the fact that you have 45 watt charging instead of just the 25 watt charging. All in all, the S22 Plus is a device that feels like it's trying to fit between upper, mid-range, and high-end. It's not necessarily the most compact phone, but it does give you a bigger display to play with that has a higher than average max display brightness. If you're at all interested in 5G, then you'll have some of the best 5G tech around to try out. The camera isn't the best of what Samsung has to offer, but it is more than good enough for what photography moments life can throw at you. The battery that comes inside should be more than enough to get you through an average day, and if it doesn't, you always have the option of being able to charge faster, even if it will cost you more. What I'm trying to say is that this phone is going to be one of the better choices for someone who doesn't necessarily need everything, but wants near everything. If you're still confused and have questions about the main differences between all 3 S22 series devices, please check out my Galaxy S22 in-depth comparison. So with that all being said, wherever you are in the world, have a great day, a great afternoon, a great evening, or a great night, and I will see you in the next video.